Hello, Satnam. It's me, Shakti Sundari, back with you today with some more beautiful, inspiring words from Daniel Odier's book, Desire, the Tantric Path to Awakening, and some of my own commentary on this beautiful work. So today's video, we're on my 11th reading, the 11th video. And I've given it the title, It's Not About Being Good, It's About Being Conscious. It's a bit of a long title, and I often feel that when we start using words like conscious and consciousness, it can be a bit off-putting. But it's also hard to find words to replace that in a sense. But, this whole path and this whole practice is about being very down to earth and being very in the now and being very in life. So I'm going to do my best to summarize what I'm going to talk about and then read to you what I'm going to talk about, because it's, another really profound kernel of wisdom and truth. So I guess in the videos so far, the message that I've conveyed in my interpretation of Daniel Odier's book is that all that is really required for us to live ecstatically, blissfully, is to be absolutely present to every moment of lived experience and to be fully present, therefore, in all of our senses. And then we can be interacting with the world on a moment by moment basis as if we are making love and experience like a cellular orgasm, really, in that profound meeting of consciousness, which is our awareness, which is our presence, with the energy of life, with the experience of life, whatever is happening in any given moment. Because in its purest sense, we take the notion of consciousness and that being like absolute stillness, absolute presence, absolute infinite space, and then identifying that with the masculine principle. And then we take the polarity of the feminine principle as being the energy that is animating and creating and destroying all of life continuously on a secular basis. And then those two are meeting all the time when we bring our presence, when we bring our awareness, our attention to whatever is happening. So in the bit that I'm going to read today, Daniel Odier, this is on chapter 10, the source of consciousness. I really love also how these teachings turn our beliefs on their head and really encourage us to question our assumptions. Well, they do for me anyway. And I love being made to question my assumptions. I think that's really, really healthy. So, I'm talking to probably most of you would identify as being on the spiritual path, probably you're yogis or tantrikas or dancers or therapists or healers, right? And me included, but probably most of us have this belief that as part of that, there are certain practices that we should be following, that enhance our spirituality, that take us deeper towards truth, okay? But what Daniel Odier is saying here, and in his interpretation of the tantric texts, is actually none of that is necessary. None of the practice, no principles, no moral precepts, no dogmas, absolutely no dogmas, no right or wrong is needed. All that is needed is absolute consciousness in every moment. And that is it. It's as simple as that. And it's as simple as that. And it's as challenging as that. Because, that sounds like a very simple thing. But, well, personally, I find that very challenging because so much is going on in the crazy mind and the distancing from the body as we go into the mind and so on and so forth. So let me just read a little bit. There is only consciousness. Abhinavagupta. Did I say that right? Abhinavagupta, yeah. 10th century tantric philosopher, one of India's greatest thinkers, says in his monumental work, Tantra Loka, all that is prescribed, all that is upheld, the yogas based on such limbs as the control of breath or other things, all that is false. So great, like, doesn't that turn all of our beliefs on their head right there? We're being made to question, we're being poked and provoked. So all the yoga practice I'm doing, it's a load of nonsense. Just take that for a moment. In thus freeing themselves from the different types of yoga, the Tantric masters wanted to point towards this solely existing consciousness. For them, attention to reality is the simplest and most direct way for consciousness to manifest itself continuously. So I've talked in previous videos about how this continuous being present is what opens us to the ecstasy of life. And that is, I guess, where we're heading towards as Tantrikas. So this means that the Tantrika rejects all interdictions, any moral or ethical precepts, and yoga's full of them, and most spiritual pathways and beliefs are full of good and bad, right and wrong, do this, do that, right? All exterior and progressive quests that involve the intervention of ritualistic forms or beliefs or dogmas. So it's rejecting all of that. And there is neither transcendence nor purification. And here's another one, another paradox and another flipping everything on its head, making us question. I love this. The masters define purity as all that is lived with consciousness, and impurity as all that is lived with automatism and non-presence. So it completely redefines the conditioning that so many of us have about good and bad, right and wrong. You know, there's so much that we have been taught by church, by family, by society, by education about right and wrong, black and white. And here it's redefined as consciousness replaces everything. And without that, there is no spirituality. So you can be saying all the prayers you like. You can be bowing down to your God, saying your prayers, doing your ritual, twiddling your beads, lighting your incense. It's all worth nothing if it's not done with consciousness. So no external form is required to attain enlightenment, actually, and to attain self-realization. So that's pretty cool. I can just see that somehow my picture's gone black. I don't know where I've gone, but I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully the picture will come back online. So the key thing is that how do we make this a practice? How do we live consciousness? Well, we're going to come right back to the body. Because without the body, we can't be conscious. And I'll carry that on in the next video. But for now, it's not about being good. It's about being conscious. That's my message for today. Thank you so much for watching. Much love and Sat Nam.